All right. I don't know if it's on yet or not. I have to twiddle my settings real quick to see, but I'm doing a Jorrun. Is this working? Is this working? Yeah, I don't think it is. Okay, it is working. All right, let's go. Y'all, I'm decided to use OBS on this one and I'm new to it, so I'm whatever. So, with that said, yeah, hey Naked, what's up? It was quiet. I'm using something new and I don't know how to do an opening song on here and all that jazz. Had to say that for you. But anyway, okay, so I have something that I stumbled upon when I was actually making a different project for Jorrly. And I stumbled on it, and I couldn't believe that no one had. Obviously, no one found it before, because if they had, it would have been outed. It would have definitely been um, shown. And I do not have a lot of time this weekend, and so I really just kind of wanted to get on here and share what I thought was the most probing part of all of it. And I have every intention, whenever I'm done showing what I've worked so hard on, to let the link out so everyone can grow their own Jorrun content off of it. So with that said, let me just say also that my notes are all over the place on this. And if y'all can't hear me good, let me know. Hey Bailey, and Eel, by the way, I meant to say that earlier. But I tried to make recordings of this and do something um a little more formal and really give it its justice and credit that it needs. You know what I mean? But like, I'm just not. Jorrun talks about being a perfectionist. Like, no, 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 no. I am definitely a perfectionist, and I can't. I could not get it right the way I wanted. So I said, you know what? Let me take an hour and a half out of my time, just do a live stream. And I want to not preemptively. I've been listening to too much Jorrun, preemptively striking and stuff. But this is going to be an extremely adult content themed video. Uh, I'm going to make it adults only when it's done. If it gets too graphic for you, I totally get it. But we're talking about Jorrun here, so what else can we expect? Um, I will also say I got my Jorrly wish because I said I just wish I could find something that he did that we could get further into his brain, you know. And then Cookie Whoopie Bestie. Oh God, it was killing me not to share this with Cookie Whoopie Bestie, but here we are. And I definitely hope that Cookie can. I know Cookie has some skills, so we can dig further into what I found, and we can. And if someone has found this, I don't know why you didn't tell us sooner, because I found this probably 2 months ago, maybe. Um, so I joked to myself that his servitor, Suhelia, his favorite genie in the bottle that's up by his computer desk, um, that she sent this to me. I joked to myself because she probably can't stand him. You know, could you, if you were his genie, could you? That would be hell. That would be a personal hell to be Jorrun's personal genie. Anyway, okay. So my notes. I have a lot of organizational issues with my head. I had a perfect analogy the other day with my son. I said, my brain, like my thoughts are like a spaghetti pile. Okay, and every thought is a piece of spaghetti, but I need to like get a fork in there and twirl it up and collect the thoughts. Like honestly, that's really it. So you'll hear my papers rustling, like Jesse's reading some wolf porn. You'll hear all that. But if I'm repetitive, sorry. I have a lot going on in this spaghetti bowl of a brain. All right. So when it comes to that, the themes that I'm going to discuss heavily when it comes to it, I feel like I'm pretty qualified to do so. Just personal life experience, and that I've been in this realm that he's speaking of. And I'll get further into that later. But I will have some hot takes, as I usually do. But I don't think that y'all will disagree with me when you actually let my thoughts sink into your brain. It's going to make a lot of sense. All right. So, like I said, I have every intent on sharing this link probably after I do about 2 of these live streams, because I just wanted to kind of cover what I found to be, because they all kind of go together as a big puzzle piece to like be like, oh wow. So okay, we all know his Angel Fire site, right? Yeah. Well, Angel Fire did something where they took it all down. Oh, eel. That's why you're right. That's why there's no more comedy, because he did it all. He did everything that could be done. He's so original. Every thought he has so original, you know. So okay. I was doing the Angel Fire site, couldn't find anything, but then I thought, oh, let me go like poke around some more on it on some links I didn't look at. So I did, and I found one called Rub a Lamp. That's important for my next or some of the today, but the next one too, very important to remember. Rub a lamp. And somehow, some way, I was just aimlessly clicking around. I found what he did when he left the Alamek forest. So when we think of his top 10 list, when he says reasons you're not welcome in the forest anymore, well, he was kicked out of that bitch, honestly, in my opinion, because of how he is. And he still didn't probably grasp why, you know, because he talks about they tell you go to the hot tub, but the hot tub is where people do sexual things, you know. Rub a lamp. Sorry, my Texas voice. I need a sip of water. Probably need one of those. But Rebel Lamp. I was thinking like Billy Idol or something. That'd be. You know what? You know what? We should tell Callie. Rebel Lamp. Especially because all this crap that I found. But anyway. But if someone found this, I have no knowledge of that. So anyway, I'm gonna put that up. That's funny. Rebel Lamp. Boom. Can I do that? Oh no, I can't put you up. It's not like I'm on OBS. It's telling me I can block you. No, I'm not gonna do that, obviously. But okay, so then I found this thing and I'm gonna show it to y'all now. I did hide the URL because like I said, I just want to kind of keep it to myself until I get what I've worked so hard on, and then everyone can have a free for all I care. Okay. Okay. I'm still learning this stuff. You know, I'm not good at this. So all right, let's pop it on over to what I found. Let me make sure I'm on the thing. I am. Okay. All right. If you notice, it says fiction section, and that's what I'm going to. Which Rebel Lamp? He says, yeah, ha, ha. Oh my God. Oh my God, yes. That's perfect. I'm not a great singer, but God damn it, that's good. That's awesome. Okay, Cookie, do more of that because that's awesome. That's perfect. Okay, so we have a no, eel. I mean, it is terrifying, but at the same time, it is what the fuck? It's like a Mike Pence. What the fuck am I watching situation, you know? But okay, so this was in 2001 to 2003, this time era. I want to know what this fucker did in 2003 that he left it all behind, because I mean, he probably didn't actually leave it behind because there's no way he left this behind. But anyway, let's move on here. So we see, I think my cursor is not showing, but he has Aladdin and Jasmine. I think he has a Jasmine thing also, by the way, because I found him. Don't look up Jorrun and Jasmine stuff because you'll find some crazy shit unless you don't mind looking at cartoon stuff. But I found him liking Jasmine cosplayers a lot and commenting on the shoes, because so he really likes those pointy shoes. We know that, but I think it's a Jasmine thing because she looks like his ideal woman. So all these little things here. He left. He did. He left behind the church and lessons he'd learned. What a stupid thing to do. That was pretty stupid. It was pretty stupid, man. All right, so he has this harem picture here. I mean, you know, I'm making sure it's going good. Good. Okay. I forgot there's a lag. And all right, so we go here. Last update was April 13th, 2003. That is the very last one I can see. I can't see anything else past that. But anyway, I hid the sidebar too because there's things I wanted to show to y'all later. But I will read to you. It says new stuff, which is the new pictures and stuff. There's photos. Here's the categories of photos, y'all. Altered photos. By the way, there's over 2,000 pictures on this website. Celebrity photos, art, anime, and the next category, I had heavy suspicions that he was into, but he would never admit, but furries. Anthropomorphic. Yes. Yes, he is. Point blank, period. Okay. Comic and cartoon art, computer generated art, animations, and artistic nudes. Now, if you click on the site before this one came out, it says that he didn't say prefer. He said I forgot exactly what it was, but he was alluding like you can look if you're underage, that's fine, but like just just keep it to yourself or whatever, which everyone does. But just the fact that like he is so allowing of it too, just knowing what we know, it's kind of weird. But okay, so we're gonna click on some of these links. It's kind of slow, but I'm not gonna click on the nudes obviously, and some of them don't show up, but we'll go ahead and click on, we'll do celebrity first, just because it's, you won't be able to see a lot. There's a lot of broken links. That's where Cookie, I wonder if you can help. I don't know. Because in the index linking of this, there's a lot of links. A lot, a lot, a lot. Like with the direct stuff. I don't know if Jorrun's a furry. I think he enjoys seeing furries as genies. Um, and I will show y'all when I click on the links page why I believe this. Aside from him having all these pictures. Okay, so we can see here that it's not the girls in poses and stuff, and then like we'll scroll. A lot of them are broken. Like I said, there's 2 pages here. That's really not big, but you're getting the gist here. Okay, so we'll go to the furries. I think the biggest one that still is on is the animations one. I think that's the one that has the most going on, and it's a lot of like hip moving and stuff. You know, I this man totally still come on. Unless he thinks it doesn't exist anymore, he moved the collection somewhere else, and that I don't know. We could try to reverse engineer some stuff, I guess maybe, but all right, here we are. We're looking at the animations. Yeah, these load up the best, I'd say. We can see, but he there's a specific picture I'm not going to post on here, but I will share it with people. Obviously, if y'all watch Chippendale Rescue Rangers, um, I know. I'm laughing to myself when I see this stuff because it's just kind of like Jorrun, what, you know? But it has the little Chip and Dale. I think it's Chip, not Dale. And the girl, I forget her name, but she's a genie, and she's pulling the front of his pants open and saying she wants to make all his dreams wishes come true and stuff like that. And that's like a big focal point in our nude section ish. But Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, man, you know, I loved that show. As a matter of fact, right now the theme song's in my head, and I'm just like, oh no, it's like forever like scathed for me now. Chip and Dale, you know it. I know. Gadget. Yeah, it's Cookie. I knew you know. Okay. That's fucking wild. Anyway, all right. So let me get over here. There's page 2, nothing really big. Okay, the nudes part actually is probably the biggest. So I will, like I say, when I put the links out, like everyone just go free for all, do what you do. Like make more Jorrly content. Okay, so the furries, we can click on that. I hope that shouldn't show that naked thing. I think that's on a different. But here we just see genies as furries, and yeah, he's very selective to not put naked things where they don't belong. But there's a lot of the artistic nudes. He is one of those. He is. That's why I looked up the Aladdin Jasmine stuff. I mean, but I think it's more he's into a Jafar Jasmine thing, which who can blame him? Jafar is fine. So, you know, that is what it is. But like here I am talking about cartoons, but whatever. Jafar was a lot of people's thing. I have no shame in that. I recently found out the guy that does his voice is like not even like British, and he did Cogsworth too. And Grimsby from Little Mermaid. That guy's talented as shit. Anyway. And yes, I found out through looking up this stuff. Jorrun, and I'll prove it to you. Jorrun made this site. I can prove it to you, and I'm going to do it as we continue. For one thing, in the old versions of the site, Razor Master at Hotmail is the contact, and that was one of his emails. Now it changed to Master of All Genies, as time went on. But in the story I'm going to read y'all today, he self-inserts like a motherfucker. Even his name is self-inserted. So it's him. So yeah, and it linked directly from the Angel Fire. And let's go. Let's just go to the links right now. Let's just go to the links. Let's just go to the links. Let me prove it to you. I'm not saying you don't believe me. I'm saying like I had to look for myself too. Like I have to make sure that this is his shit. I just had to know. All right. Wait for that to load. Oh, my cursor is on. Good. Now I know that. So I can actually, Okay, I hope I don't get in trouble for showing this feet thing, but it is what it is. The feet thing's important too because the story I'm going to read y'all today, it kind of goes. All right. So, places the master likes to go when he isn't here. A list of my favorite places on the net. So, we have the story of Jorrun. Original fantasy stories. Some featuring my chat alter ego, a barbarian. And in the previous versions, his Stefan's Poetry Cafe or whatever was on here. And so that's also showed me it was him. Okay, so this Persia Press that I clicked on, it doesn't work when I click it on here, but otherwise it's a genie cat girl. The anthropomorphic stuff we're talking about, So that will come up in a different thing too, because that's a whole ass other thing. But this is definitely him. And this genie's feet thing, I looked at it. It's still very active. I don't know if it's active now or just active. It's definitely a thing. And she has like size 2 feet or something. So tiny feet is apparently a thing with Jorrun too. Like he would not like me. I have a size 10 foot. Like no. He likes tiny feet. So then a lot of these are fictions, as we can see. So okay, let's continue and go on to the movie reviews, which I'm going to do an extensive thing on these movie reviews because for number one thing here, he acts like he's multiple people on this website, but it is all him. It is all him. First of all, this Alexi Razor, I knew that was another one of his things from my internet super sleuthing. Alexi Razor at Hotmail was one of his things. So, and of course you have to click on, he likes doing this, like on his poetry site, you have to, or top 10 site, you had to like highlight everything to see anything. So you have to do that too here to see any of this. So the first thing says, like harem girls, click for reviews. Okay, cool. For all you anime maniacs, reviews. And the Grand Vizier, whatever, which is Jafar. I know that's a real title, but reviews adult videos featuring genies. But I have to tell y'all, when it gets to the adult, I mean, I'll do that later on a different day, maybe tomorrow morning or maybe Sunday evening. But the pornography reviews are like one sentence compared to, I'm only going to go through a couple of these today so you can see how extensive it is before I go through all the others. But I will say this. In the anime reviews, there is a review about this one, and he talks about an Asian ring, a genie in a ring. He fucking called Emily Boba his Asian ring. Okay. I'm gonna say my Cardi B. Okay. Because for real. Like, seriously, y'all. It's all tying together. Okay. That's coming at a later time. But, so he says, I'm not going to read all of them, but just he rates them specifically. I rate all these genie movies based on what really makes a good genie movie. Her general babeness, whether she calls him master, her costume, and how she appears when summoned. I Dream of Genie has taught me well. Oh, and I do rate them on the actual storyline as well. Well, of course Jorrun would, because that's him. But we're going to go through these another time. But the other ones, like the anime and the harem ones, he tells you where to find them, if they're on VHS, if they're dubbed, if they're how long they are, where to get them, if it's a tape trading site. This man, we knew this, has a VHS for this reason, but this is clearly so. And he tells on himself. That's another thing, y'all. He tells on himself all the time. I threw out a bunch of porn today. No, bitch, you did not. You were, like Wes said, you were not getting rid of that shit. But he definitely has it. Definitely, because he proves it with his reviews. All right, so let's go on to Yes, Cookie. I got you, girl. I got you. Bestie, look, I'm telling you, his servitor gave it to me. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of fell in my lap, So let's go to what I'm going to read today. I tried to record it, but I could not without laughing. And I do not knock people's kinks. I do not knock people's anything. But y'all, just the stuff he says, I can't. I'm going to laugh when I read it. I'm going to, because it's funny. Okay. We proudly present the fiction section. Here you can read original fiction written by friends and contributors. They're all him. They're all him. No fanfic. Well, anyway, any stories must have original characters. Well, he didn't do that. But anyway, but it's him, so who cares? And he's like, we have the right to whatever. And it's like, anyway, we have the right to reject any story at any time. Legal mama jumbo, blah, blah, blah. Look at this stupid face thing. Gross. I think he's just gross. I don't know, because he did roast kiss Somali to people. I think it's gross. Hey, God's gift. Okay, so we had to highlight this again. Of Deserts, Dreams, and Gin, an erotic masterpiece. 18 years and older. Y'all, it's a 41-page PDF. I've not made it completely through, but from what I see, Suhalia is in it. And Khalid has to rescue her from her, it's not Cthulhu, but it's spelt like some similar like that, from this evil tentacle, by the way, master. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to finish it, but I'll probably just like rip it through something for a summary because it's long as shit. Okay, this one I have not even looked at yet because I was so enamored with the second one. So this is the one I'm going to read you now. Ensnaring the Genie. A man finds a genie belonging to another master and deals with it. 18 years and older only, please. This will get erotic. This will get crazy. This will get just nuts, y'all. Okay, let me get a sip of water real quick. I've read this story so many times, and every time I think I just find something new that I can say, dude. That's my basketball duding, but dude. All right. Let me get my notes. And I probably have about 20 pages here that I printed out of my notes. But they're kind of repetitive, so I'm trying to not be repetitive. But if it gets too much, y'all can turn it off. But I don't know, man. This is funny to me. I mean, this is fun for me. 41 pages of cyber sex is what it is, yes. All right. First, I want to take a note, too. We're going to go to Ensnaring the Genie. And if there's a fiction section, why there's only 3 there? I mean, you know what I mean? No one had submissions. This was his his own Pornhub. That's what this was. For sure. Yeah, cheers to Jorrly, everybody. I don't have a drink or I'd take a shot for Jorrly, but happy Jorrly. That's another reason. I just wanted to get this done quick so people could dig, All right. So the first things, if he took half the goddamn Jordan, if he took the time he spends on half-assing bullshit, he'd really have one skill. He'd have all the fame. Yes, and with the fame, the breaks will come. That's right. But another theory I have is that he really doesn't give a fuck about tangible breeds. Maybe internet breeds, but tangible does not. So, all right, reading this story, y'all. Okay. Ensnaring the Genie. So ensnaring obviously means to trap. Okay. And the editing is by J.S. Guy. I think that means just some guy. It's him, though. Oh, by Stephen Rose, by the way. And that's not... I'm just reading. I'm not doxing anyone. I'm just reading the story. So, okay. I'm not a good reader. I'll stutter and stuff like that. But, y'all, I'm going to laugh and make my commentary as I go. Stephen looked at the brass lamp in his hands. The item he held certainly looked the way he expected a magic lamp to look. Tarnished surface, ornate designs on the side, an open spout on the front, and a handle on the opposite end. He didn't believe in magic, but he also realized that he had nothing to lose by giving it a little polished job. Polished job. I just noticed that. So, dishcloth in hand, he gave it a once-over, well, 3 times over, since it was the magic number. This fool believes in magic. He can't lie to me. Okay, well, clearly, but... Green smoke. Where am I at? Okay, yeah, green smoke poured from the spout, cool and soft to the touch. Stephen's mouth dropped open as the lamp fell from his hands, safely landing on the couch next to him, just like our Genie when it, wafts over. It coalesced into the standing figure of a young woman, short but enticingly curvy. She had dark hair pulled back into a ponytail and bright green eyes. Her milky white skin looked lovely against the diaphanous, emerald green harem girl costume she wore. I think he likes the color green. She looked surprised, though exceptionally appealing. After years of skepticism toward magic and the occult, Stefan became a believer, and very quickly. Master, the mystical woman inquired, what is going on? I have been in the lamp for 3 years now. Another 3. Oh, you are not my master. The genie stepped back, visibly startled to see a new individual holding her lamp. Who are you? Where am I? Oh, the lamp must have gotten lost. I must find my master. She wrung her hands with apprehension. He will be so worried. Stefan hadn't the slightest clue to say, but figured an introduction couldn't hurt things any. My name is Stefan. You're in my apartment. I bought your lamp from a local antique shop. That's all I know. I'm sorry. He frowned, concerned, but at the same time, hoping he might get some wishes. Oh, hello. The genie beamed at him, her bright smile dazzling Stefan for a moment. I am Genie. A pleasure meeting you. He bowed slightly. It says, is this it? Did I type it wrong? Because, I have a comment if that's the case. I guess what? Sorry, I'm stopping so much. I just thought because I was like, pleasure to meet you. Where's it at? Because I'm reading off paper. Oh, it is messed up. I thought he was saying. I thought my thing is that he or e, and I was gonna say how is he proofreading for anybody else because he can't do his own shit. But that was my fault. My bad, y'all. Anyway. Oh my God! Hey, Pussy Destroyer. Yeah, if Kennedy popped out. Oh my God, man, she talked his ear off. Well, Lord have mercy. That's a whole ass other thing. Why these hoes always gotta ruin our Jorrly, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna. Sorry. I won't for edits. I won't anymore. I'll just say my comments. But anyway, let me see. Okay. Oh, hello. The genie beamed at him, her bright smile dazzling Stefan for a moment. I am Genie. A pleasure meeting you. Genie bowed slightly, giving him a better view of her pert, creamy bosom. Thank you for letting me out of that lamp. Finally, I feel inclined to find my master, but I perhaps should reward you for freeing me by granting you 3 wishes, don't you think? She winked, and Stefan sensed a playful spirit in her. Nice girl, he thought. I need to get her. Let me get a drink of water. Let's think about that. I need to get her. She's a nice girl. I need to get her. Let's get her. It's fucked up how our brains work in here, huh? In this community. Oh, yes, Kari. Kari. Yes, Kari. That her. Excuse me, Kari. Yes. Yes, Eel. That's one of my points. It's so what you wait, Eel. You just wait until it gets hot and heavy because oh my God, we're gonna find out. Oh my God, the self insertion is out of control here. All right, it really is. Okay. Oh, God's gift. You're absolutely 1000% correct. This story, I wish we found this story forever ago because it says everything, everything. This story, he just told us everything in this story. Okay. Can I wish to become your new master? Stefan smiled. I thought whoever possessed the lamp was the genie's master automatically. I thought that too. Oh no, Genie giggled spiritedly. I am flattered, though. I am afraid you can only become a genie's master by claiming her, as my master did, which is why I call you by your name. Again she smiled, this time looking straight in his eyes, as if she was very interested in him, or at least curious. You will have to wish for something else. Wait, how do you claim a genie? Sorry, I saw dog noses. Okay. Stefan inquired, a thought forming in his head. Sorry, I can't tell you that either. It's against the rules. It makes things too easy. You have to figure it out for yourself. Perhaps I can grant you something else? Possibly a harem? Those are always popular. Most masters like riches, too. Genie yawned. You know, she probably did that whole, like, her chest out and did her arms, you know? Mortals can be so predictable, present company accepted, she said with a giggle and a wink. Stefan sat down on his work chair and considered the dilemma, absent-mindedly rubbing the lamp. He thought about how to use the 3 wishes wisely. Excuse me. Then returned his train of thought to how much he would rather have Genie permanently if possible. That's familiar too from the boba catfish. MMM. He mumbled to himself, I could have anything, whenever I wanted it, and most of all, He couldn't stop thinking about being able to make love to her whenever he wanted. Her lithe, petite, and utterly delectable body there to please him. It's not as if he'd be a bad master either. He wasn't very aggressive, not incredibly greedy, and he knew how to satisfy a woman. Blech. At very least, he wouldn't lose a sexy, sweet treasure like Jeannie for 3 years. Somehow, he couldn't imagine a good master letting his Jeannie sit in a tiny lamp for 3 years alone and bored. Never mind losing her. Wait, tiny lamp. That was it. All right, now this is where my notes really start kicking in, because I see so much in that paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to read my notes just talk it, but he's setting up a moral justification for his actions. He's going to overthrow her current master and steal her because the other master didn't treat her right. This is classic self-justification. He positions himself as the hero while simultaneously indulging in the fantasy of taking ownership of another man's woman. He told us to Kelpill. He said, I was the guy that would take other guys' girls. He did say this to Kelpill. So he really likes that. And then also to say, he thinks he's doing her a favor. Using her sexually is doing her a favor because she gets to get out of that lamp. He's such a nice guy, y'all. We have it all wrong. This whole time, we had it all wrong. Eel, you took the words out of my mouth. I said, isn't this exactly like the sketch? Exactly like the sketch. 1000%. Except this time he got a girl to say the parts. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not exactly, because I think Tiffany would have said, nah, I'm not saying that shit, whatever. But close enough. The descriptions and everything. Okay. Jeannie, what's it like being in this lamp? How do you know when someone's rubbing it? Jeannie smiled, pleased that he was interested in her profession. Most masters only wanted more and faster. Few could carry a conversation farther than, Jeannie, I wish for. Well, it's small, but cozy. When the lamp is being rubbed, I get a tingling sensation. It's more or less electric, I guess. Sometimes in one spot on my body, sometimes all over, depending where the lamp is rubbed. Does it hurt at all? Stefan rubbed his chin in feigned contemplation, his plan slowly coming to fruition. This is where we see his dark side take over, y'all. Oh no, Jeannie giggled, covering her mouth so as not to be rude. It is actually quite pleasurable. Kind of like a relaxing massage. Okay? I'm going to make those notes later. But with a sense of urgency to it, an overwhelming urge to get out of the lamp, right then and there. I like it, she smiled warmly. Jeannie, I wish for you to go back into the lamp. Don't worry, I will let you out again. Just not right away, he thought. Jeannie pouted. I think it's a waste of a wish, but okay. She waved her hands and turned back into smoke, its animated plumes quickly flowing back into the lamp. In a moment, she was gone. Stefan picked up the lamp and went over to his wine rack. That bitch don't have no wine rack. He pulled a cork out of the bottle and jammed it into the spout. Time to see if his little theory held true. If it did, the payoff could be big. Winning the lottery with no taxes taken away big. He jammed it. That's forceful. That what a word to pick, right? That's quite the word. Stefan, a tiny voice came out of the lamp. Hey, Stefan, what are you doing? Let me out. Jeannie banged on the inside of the lamp. This isn't a funny joke. Stefan grinned and started rubbing the lamp, using deliberate, lingering strokes. Back and forth, his hand moved over the tarnished exterior of the brass lamp, gently caressing it. He heard a soft moaning wafting from the lamp. Oh, what are you doing? With the cork in, I can't get out. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, let me out, please. Don't you want the 2 wishes you have coming to you? Y'all, this is where it gets racy. I might try to edit some of it, but yeah. Okay. Not as much as I want you, my dear Jeannie, thought Stefan. Stefan slowly let his strong hand, y'all, I can't, every time. Okay, of course I think about it, strong hand, but his hands ain't strong, okay? Person that got the massage said it sucked. Okay, go back and forth over the cool surface of the lamp, achingly slow. It would be achingly slow to me if that man ever touched me. Like, even if he just barely touched me, that would be achingly slow. No, I can't. Okay, Inside the lamp, Jeannie was in chaos. It felt as if a pair of very, very experienced hands were going up and down her entire body. It had been so long since she had been touched by a man. She recalled how she and her master used to be intimate every day. She wondered what happened to him and her lamp. Shuddering, her thought was interrupted by a wave of pleasure cascading through her body. Oh, it was too hard to think now. Jeannie lay back on her silk cushions and closed her eyes, starting to breathe harder. Stefan smiled as he listened to the moaning, knowing that even if his plan wasn't working, he was still pleasing Jeannie. Regardless, he surmised things were likely going in his favor. He stroked and rubbed the lamp, using all the skill he would, as if he had been touching the genie directly. Every inch of the lamp, base to lid, was stroked from handle to spout. He alternated long strokes back and forth, okay, with circular motions. Uh, yeah, y'all, wait, this is where it gets telling, all right? Okay, I keep trying to emphasize words, but I probably should just read it and go back, but okay. Okay, long strokes back and forth with circular motions on the side of the lamp, listening to what made Jeannie cry out louder with ecstasy. Her cries of protest ended rather quickly. She obviously had missed this too much in the last 3 years. So he says that she was having cries of protest, but he kept doing it when she's trapped. Let that linger for a minute. Okay. Jeannie grabbed cushions with both. Eel, I mean, he wrote the story, so I guess, he didn't have to apologize. But he sees nothing wrong with this. That's the okay. Wrong is, fantasy is one thing, but let's continue. I know this is a lot, y'all. This is a lot. I know. Jeannie grabbed the cushions with both hands and panted heavier, her full, firm ivory breasts heaving in the rhythm of Stefan's hands. Oh, Allah, she thought, biting her lip. He was so good. She shivered as if he was caressing her from head to toe, the feeling of his hands touching every inch of her, not missing a place. The sensation of his touch on her breasts, encircling her nips, was almost too much for her. I don't know if I could say nips or not. Her nipples hardened, straining against her clothing as she arched her back, her body begging silently to be touched by Stefan himself, and not through a virtual connection of the lamp. If he is this good with just the lamp. The thought was interrupted as Jeannie felt his touch on her feet. I think he likes feet for sure. Her favorite and most sensitive place. That ain't her favorite. That's Stefan's favorite. Nuggets! My nuggets! Oh, nuggets! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Yes, he does have dog-nosed balls. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. As we all have witnessed, unfortunately. She felt that she couldn't hold out much longer, and she was quickly becoming sure she didn't want to. So she wasn't sure in the first place? Stefan, okay, this is the most important part of the story, y'all. I'm going to try to not interrupt it with my theory because my theory is kind of a lot, but this is detailed for this man to get off. So this is so important to the brain of Jorrun, This whole website is, but yes. Okay, Stefan knew it was time to get right down to business. He started licking the lamp, rolling in and around the base, the place that seemed to get the biggest response from her. At first, the tarnished exterior of the lamp was bitter to his probing tongue, but oddly, it quickly affected a musky taste, one familiar and not displeasing. It ain't familiar. The moans from the inside the brass vessel became very loud, and Stefan could have sworn the lamp trembled in his hands for just a second. He licked up the neck, tracing his tongue around the spout. All the while, his hands fairly flew all over the surface of the lamp, intending to bring Jeannie to ecstasy. Jeannie felt herself start to shake. The feel of Stefan's tongue on her tiny feet was too much for her. She began shaking lightly, her body feverish and filled with desire for this man with a masterful touch. And when he began licking the spout, it felt as if it was right between her legs, better than any oral stimulation she had ever received. All this time, magical pressure had been building up inside the lamp. When a lamp is rubbed, the magic forces the genie out. Jeannie felt the pressure building up inside of her, but was too overcome with the pressure inside of her that was going to blow any moment now. Stefan's hands were a blur all over the lamp, while his tongue licked all around the spout, faster as he heard her moans become screams of ecstasy. All at once, the lamp shook violently. The cork shot out of the spout. Sorry, y'all. And in a loud explosion, the room was suddenly filled with green smoke. Green again. As if someone let off a bomb. Blinded by the smoke, Stefan coughed and gagged until it cleared. I'm going to finish the story, then I'm going to say what I think. I haven't read the chat yet, but y'all, I would not be surprised if y'all made the same connections I'm making here. There was no genie. Stefan searched the entire room, looking to see if perhaps she was in a tiny form, or his brother liked tiny form too. Anyway, or if her characteristic plume of smoke was somewhere to be found. Dismayed, his frantic searches found nothing. Oh my God, Stephen thought in a panic. I've killed her. Stefan picked up the lamp and was thrilled to find out he was wrong. Soft, barely perceptible moans wafted up from it, and the sounds of a genie exhausted from intense lovemaking. Stefan lifted off the lid and peered into the lamp. Jeannie was laying on her back with her eyes closed. The front of her pantaloons were completely soaked through. Probably pissed herself. Goddamn. Oh, 3 years. 3 years since I've experienced such pleasure. He is so wonderful. Oh, my. Jeannie opened her eyes and then blinked them, turning into a tiny puff of smoke, the best she could muster after such physical exertion. The slight stream trickled out of the spout and formed in front of Stefan into a stating Jeannie. Oh, Stefan! Jeannie flung her arms around his broad shoulders, kissing him with a kiss of gratitude, longing, and pure desire for him. Stefan felt his head float away. Then it cleared, and he began kissing back, sliding his arms around her waist. Oh, what am I doing? This is wrong. Jeannie broke the embrace and then stepped back, covering her mouth in horror at what she had done. This is improper. Things must be done according to ceremony. Jeannie knelt down in front of Stefan, prostrating herself fully before him. Then she got back up into the kneeling position, her hands folded together and her head bowed, which we all know is his favorite. Oh, great master. That's what, isn't that what Jasmine said in Aladdin? She intoned very solemnly, I am the genie of the lamp. You who have claimed me are now my master. For as long as a time as you possess the lamp or send me away, I am your slave in all things, for your wish is my command. Jeannie then looked up, smiling brightly, her look sweet and mischievous all at once. Command me, oh my master. Stefan arched an eyebrow and smiled mysteriously. This was going to be the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Before I go into my theory, I just want to share something with y'all. Could you imagine if this is the face looking at you? If you were a genie and this happened? Because that's what I got in my head whenever he said he smiled mysteriously and lifted his eyebrow. Could you imagine being a genie to this person for many years? Like, no. 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 No, 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 no. Could you imagine that looking at you and knowing what you had to do for that thing? Or let that thing do to you? Why is he looking like that? It's such a jump scare. I know. I know. Okay, so my theory now. I don't know if genies can off themselves, but I would hope they could because, well, harem girls probably could because they could have each other, I guess. But all right, so I'm gonna take this away for a second, and I'm gonna tell you all my theories here. Okay, I have all these notes. I'm not even gonna use them, but the biggest part of the story, I think that stood out to me is first the lighter of the theories. I think based in like just my line of work and stuff like that, I've met people who like things like there's people who like to have intercourse, well, if you call it intercourse, but with couches and things like that. I think that his primary fixation is, it maybe started with the genie, but I think his true fixation is the lamp now, because that first website was called Rub a Lamp. Rub a lamp, no. But yeah. So, well, he's a pervert and bad writer, but it's deeper. People into some things, man. Guy to guy, guy to guy. Why wasn't that his favorite Predator? I mean, anyway, but I digress that. But so I'm not going to sit here and reread the part about the lamp, but I also think that he got into massage because he likened the way he rubbed at the lamp to a massage. I think that when he's rubbing a woman in real life, he is thinking about this whole lamp genie situation. I think every time he's doing it, I sure do. I believe that with every fiber of my being is relating to the lamp. I had a note for that, but I don't know where I put it. Might be able to find it pretty quick if I look, but I'm not organized like I wish I was. But sorry, I don't have background music. That'd probably make it easier too. But oh, okay, found it. The genie fantasy is not just a kink. It's a perfect psychological escape hatch for him because it lets him stay in complete control, something real relationships don't allow, have a woman without ever having to actually deal with one sexually, engage in a very specific sexual act while telling himself it's, that comes later, sorry about that. That's why he sabotages every real world meeting. You would think that he would have a girl that's going to come meet him in real life dressed up like a genie, but he ghosts her and kills the email he talked to her on because it's not a fantasy anymore at that point. He actually has to have some accountability. Um, the constant bragging about how to please a woman, he's a good master, is overcompensating, and we know that's why he's doing that. So let's see the other note. Okay, here we go. It's not a container, the lamp, okay? It's his mind, and the lamp is the genie's body in his mind, okay? That's why he's so obsessed with rubbing it, licking it, and stroking it. So when you combine it with being a massage therapist, it's too weird. Every time he runs his hands on a woman's body, there's a very good chance he's mentally mapping that woman into the lamp fantasy. The long, deliberate strokes he uses in real life are the same ones he describes using on the lamp in the story. The circular massaging, yeah. The long, deliberate strokes. Okay, I said that. He's literally practicing the same physical motion on a woman that becomes the lamp. People can think I'm crazy, but no, I've dealt with a lot of people that do this kind of thing, and I fully believe this is the truth. Um, and also, I think the single shoe is also a nod because it's only one shoe. It's not two. It's one. It's symbolic. It's something. And I think he doesn't like. Okay, I'm going to get to that later. I don't want to. I don't want to say it too quick because I have to say my other theory. So, I think that when he rubs a body as masseuse, he's likely imagining the lamp, but he's imagining a genie, a make believe genie inside it. That sounds crazy to some people, but I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe it. Now, my next my next theory is could be dark, could be deep, could be judgmental, but uh, I guess it is judgmental in a way, but not towards anyone else but him. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to reread the thing about it, because it's extremely graphic, I think. But oh my god, damn it, that's funny, ew. Okay, in the story he wrote and self-inserted himself in, he literally just performed oral sex on an inanimate object that contains a sentient being only he can access, an imaginary being at that. Um, it's a trapped woman that doesn't exist. The physical item that he's messing with is a lamp. Given how the intense lovemaking line he describes, he did it to the lamp. He didn't do it to anyone. He did it to a lamp. So, given how detailed and specific these scenes are, the taste, texture, exact stroking, and licking techniques, listening for responses, this reads like an erotic wish fulfillment based on things he has actually done or desperately wants to do with his own physical genie lamp bottle collection. I believe he does this to his bottles frequently, and maybe even the shoe. And I think that's why he doesn't like flats. Really, he wants heels because he wants that phallic thing to do it with. People can think no one can change my mind on this. I believe he does that to his bottles. Period. Period. He does that to his bottles. And if you look at his content over time that we know, the bottles have moved around. Like they're not just sitting there on the shelf. He has handled them. So I think he does this to his lamps. He has 100% ill. Exactly. He has 100% done it. And nobody can change my mind. Nobody. After reading this, especially. Because he tells on himself. In the story, when he's licking the base of the lamp and moves up to the neck and licks around the spout, that's how I would think. I don't have to go into details here, but yes, that's that. So even though the fantasy is framed as him dominating a female genie, the physical action, the climax of the story, if you will, he's performing it on a phallic object. Um, it's not like it's a little bowl lamp or anything. It has a spout, and he's fixated on the spout of lamps. I've noticed as well. He's licking and pleasuring a symbolic penis-shaped object that contains a woman, an imaginary woman once again. That creates a pretty layered psychological situation. Clear as day, he's dominating a woman, but he's not. He's licking a phallic object. I think he could probably, I think he's sucking and fucking the lamps. We've seen it. We know it could fit inside the neck of the lamp. I think he probably does. I don't think he ejaculates into it because those are his babies, but I do think he does this. And I don't judge people for I'm the last person to judge for kinks, okay? This is just picking apart his brain. But I think he does that shit. So, yes. I won't read all of this, but This is where it gets a little heated, and I think people will disagree, but I'm still going on with my thoughts because I want to. Okay. Um, the fact that he spends so much time describing himself, licking and orally pleasuring a phallic shaped lamp, while claiming it's all about dominating a woman, to me, shows a strong sign of repressed or conflicted sexual feelings towards men. He has built an extremely elaborate long term fantasy system, genes, lamps, containment, master role, that allows him to engage in sexual acts with a phallic object, while still telling himself he's just being a dominant heterosexual man. The female genie becomes a psychological cover. He's not doing this to a dick, he's doing this to a woman that's inside the dick shaped object. Um, he would never admit, he would never admit it, but I have reasons I think this. But besides him saying, I'm not gay, I'm just saying all the time, it's a quote, but I think it was a self serving quote that he could say in our community and feel better about himself too. But him always saying, always saying things like, I know how to please a woman. There in Streamzilla with Clobber, he said, it's called a fuck buddy. I've known that because I've had that. And I'm sitting here like, it's so off putting because I was like, who hasn't had that, Jorrun? Like, do you have to say that? Like, now I don't think you have because you said it. You know, if he would have never said nothing, I would have not thought that. You know, like who says that? And then the sensitive artist persona, the need for male validation, Wes's, especially Wes's, the comedy troupe, all of that, the obsession with power and control, all of it fits in with someone who has a lot of internal sexual conflict and uses domination as a defense mechanism. Do y'all know in my line of work how many men are out? My favorites are the alphas that are closet subs. My favorite. There's something about that power exchange, but I definitely think yep, all this fake domination shit is leading up to that. And then I think his personal fantasy only works because it is a fantasy, because I've had times where I've talked to people for years and then I come to meet them and they don't want to meet anymore because it gets too real. I think same thing for him, because he'd have to actually touch the woman, please the woman, do all these things, and he doesn't know how to do it because he's so in tune to this lamp. Speak in the end of the reviews also, when I get to the reviews next time, the focus is primarily on the lamp, what it looks like, what it's doing, you know, how many times on camera is shown, things like that. He commented on Wes's unit size, saying mine's not as flattering as yours, but he's also, whenever Wes is trying to like cheer him up about it a little bit, like, oh come on man, and he laughs about it, and it's not a nervous laugh, it's like a camaraderie in his mind laugh or something, like he's into some SPH or something, but he doesn't that's a whole other animal, SPH with Jorrun, but anyway, that's another time. But it's not normal straight man banter. It's a man who's hyper aware and self-conscious about another man's penis. I now speculate that he went through the photos because he was trying to beat and impress Wes for doing so he'd get more pictures. It was never about mac and cheese. I also think this is why he was so bothered by the big reveal, and that's why he called mac and cheese a she-male, and more disturbingly, an it. That's always made me so angry to hear. He's like it and laughs about it. That makes me so grossed out, like at him, like such like, why was that necessary? I think that was what he's embarrassed about more than anything. I don't think his penis being shown cared so much. I think it was the fact that he saw another one that people would judge more than anything, more than even the children. I think that's what he thought people would judge. Personally, let's not even get into his crush on Shin and how he wanted to wear Clobber's skin, because that's other things. So the genie lamp became his lifelong coping mechanism. It's elaborate, detailed, and obsessive because it has to carry a lot of psychological weight. It protects him from having to face either real intimacy with women or his, in my opinion, attraction to men. That's why this whole thing feels so deeply ingrained. He's been building and maintaining this fantasy world since at least 1997 that we know about. That's well over 20 years of using the same elaborate system to avoid facing who he truly is. Yep, I can go with deep. I have more stuff, but I don't think I have to. I can come back and revisit it when I think about it, and more y'all get into it and have y'all's thoughts about it. But let me look at yeah. So anyway, so yeah, exactly, Nuggets. So whenever you saw that, you know, like whoa, you know, I think that he just, I'm not saying he's gay, I'm saying that he might be a little curious, and that's cool, dude. I mean, hey, like, but just the way he was, and he's so, I'm such an alpha, and this guy is so beta, and everything like that, and oh, I got to get all the girls. Oh, okay, I do have another list I was gonna read for future things and lead up to the next video, but yeah, they are. They're more concerned with being like, who cares, man? Everyone's a little gay these days. Like, who cares? I think that people don't think about it if someone else is or not, unless they're interested in said person or something. Like, why? Because I don't sit here and look at someone and say, oh, are they gay? Like, oh, they might be a little gay. I don't sit here and think that. Who thinks that? Anyway, small-minded people, I guess. But which babes are you chasing in the community? Yeah. Jesus Christ, Jorrun. So I'm going to finish up with this because I didn't have a lot of time today, but I did want to share this with y'all. And I definitely will be sharing more of it. And like I said, probably in the next couple days after I finish my next, I'll put the link out and everyone can just have a free for all. So that'd be fun. So the public persona versus private reality, his weird dichotomy, if you will. So I don't think he was lying when he told Wes. It's always been repulsive. It's always been because he's been well aware of how he is his whole time. And he knows it. He knows it. He knows it. That's why he privated and deleted it. It's private. Delete it. Well, I'm about to leave, Clay. But hey, Clay. Yeah, I'm about to go. I just had to put something up really quick for Jorrly because I'm going to be a bit too busy this weekend. But all right. So Jorrun presents himself as a sensitive, poetic, harmless artist and caring masseuse. That's what he said. I'm a sensitive artist. I'm really kinky. In the same fucking 10 minutes. Which can be true. You can be both. Okay? But going with what we know, it's just not, So, this soft, unassuming mask is carefully maintained to lower people's defenses. Animal cunning, a phrase I've heard. That's what he said. His dark poetry and literotica reveals the split between his public and private self. So here are his core kinks that I personally have noticed. He has a total possession and ownership kink, like total power exchange, which that, I've only had total power exchange once in my life, and it is a daunting. The sub live with me, like you can't keep your eyes off them. It's like having a monkey as a pet. You gotta tell it they can't think for themselves. Pretty much, it's a lot. But he wants this. He wants desire for complete, permanent ownership of a woman as property. Containment and enclosure fetish. Adult Girl had said the vor thing, and I wholeheartedly agree because this whole ogre and eating children and things like that. You know what I mean? Yes. And then photoshopping girls in bottles, all that. Object fetishism. The lamp. The lamp as the true item of desire. Because the lamp is the woman's body. He has no need for a woman. He doesn't. He could live his life alone as long as he has that lamp or those bottles. His harem. Those bottles are his harem. Truly. It is. He probably kisses them every night before he goes to bed and stuff. I believe it. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. I really believe that. Wow, rude. How's that rude? Oh, because I'm leaving. Oh, well. You're rude for not coming here quicker. Just kidding. Now, forced stimulation while trapped. I can't say what I really would call that on here, but tricking women into containment, sealing them in and forcing sexual pleasure on them against their will. That sounds like the Tiffany skit. But she's not in a bottle, but she's recorded. So then that's also going hand in hand with the deception kink I think he has. Getting strong sexual and psychological pleasure from maintaining a false persona while secretly indulging his fetishes with unaware victims, whether online clients or at his job. Yeah, the same with the whole, his camera film is like genie bottles. Oh, you may know something more about me. Like, he wasn't embarrassed. He's like, oh, now they saw what I'd fuck every night, So that, it got him off to know that, to think of that. It's like a killer keeping a prize from something they killed. You know what I mean? That's very much what it's like. In plain sight. That's the kind of thing. And this one is a little, the phallic object fetish and repressed same-sex attraction. We already went through all that, but this next one, the transformation, dehumanization fetish. This will get more, and when we look at the anthropomorphic furry stuff that we found on the site, but I found on DeviantArt through clicking through Hippo 2 stuff. If you go look at Hippo 2, the guy who did uh all the stuff for Jorrun, which his stuff is not nearly as crazy as Jorrun's mind is, obviously, but he does get into some of because he draws pictures that people want to see. Okay, so there's some where I saw genies turning pretty girls into sloppy pigs, and then there's something about that people like Jorrun like, and I think that's another reason he picked Tiffany because he wanted to reduce her down to, in his mind, that because she was used at that point, she was just at the bottom of the barrel in his mind, hardly sisterly, hardly that, but because they'd pick a bimbo, quote unquote, a pretty girl, Barbie-ish, and turn her into a sexual thing for them, and that's why he would call Piggy. He called Kayla a piggy a few times, and I thought that was really weird. Like, why calling her Piggy? That's just weird. So then that's what made me go spiral into that pig-looking thing, and I found that. And then I think the transformation part is a big part of it. I mean, I've been working on this stuff. Well, my previous project for about a year. It's going to be really long and daunting, but it's going to be. I'll go ahead and say what it is. I have read some of the Korean books. It was a journey, y'all. It was hard. Sometimes I had to step away and be like, oh, "What? This is the most vile stuff I've read in my life." But the parallels between Jorrun's thinking in these books is unreal. So I'll be showing that. But I might not have that done for Jorrly, but I'll try to have a couple episodes. I think there's gonna be like 6 episodes so far. So like we're gonna try to do that. But he told on himself with that Korean rules shit because like I looked into it hard, and y'all, I don't want to get all the way now, but even his little mannerisms show that he has definitely been in Korean role playing events and things like that. So yeah, so that's what's to come. I'm glad y'all joined me today, and finally I got to tell y'all about this. I've been waiting so long, and hopefully someone has the balls to get after that 41 page the dog knows balls to go after that 41 page PDF because I sure shit no, it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, he would get sick of it because he can't put her in a bottle. He can't shove her away. That's like with Emily. Whenever he'd get off or whatever, he would say, "I gotta go to bed." That's shoving her in a bottle. Like when you know more in his brain, and you can totally see these things, and I think it's so crazy how like out of everyone in the world, that loser is the person that I personally am so fixated on, for the reasons he would never want. But I don't care. Like it is, he's a very interesting specimen, and I say specimen because I call it dissecting Jorrun because that's truly what it is. It's just like, let's see how this works because that's fascinating to me. Yes. So yes, Cookie, I might contact you this weekend and see if you can maybe dig up some stuff for me for the next stream, if you're cool with that. But because I wanted to tell you so bad, but like yeah, I just wanted to get this story thing out because I worked so hard on it. But all right, so the everyday maintenance parts. Ugh. Okay, yeah, you're right. He wouldn't because he doesn't care. Exactly. Dude, no, dude. And it's the same shit. I mean, if you like reading like literotica, which I do like reading literotica. So, but when you think of it, like you want to put yourself in it or you want to put someone else in it. But to think of that picture, this picture, I'll show you all again. This thing here, rubbing and sucking and fucking a lamp. It's too much. Like, I know there have been jokes about fucking the lamps, but y'all, 1000%, I believe he does. And I do believe he is conflicted about his sexuality. And that's what has caused this weird dichotomy in him. Anyway, all right. That's all I really have. I'm not going to play an outro or anything like that. Just wanted to put this up there. So, this ain't literotica. Okay, yeah, because it's not erotica. This is interspecies erotica. Actually, that is going to be coming up in the next one. But that's a Clerks too. I don't know if y'all know that, but yeah. So that's crazy. It ain't that. It's a definitely self-serving. Yeah, the self insertion. I mean, it's cool if you want to write it for yourself and stuff, but I don't believe this website was really made for anyone else but him. It was a thing to have where he could access it at any time, wherever he was, and have a jerk off jamboree, just like that. I just decided to throw your screen name in there. So, all right, I will see y'all later. And thanks for visiting with me for a minute. I have got to go and do life now, but all right. And I'm glad all y'all came. Nuggets, I'm glad to see you. And Cookie, all that's so fun. All right, well, all right. And Clay, I guess. Just kidding. All right.